Welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're new to my channel, I welcome you all. I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness and sharing my life stories with Asperger's syndrome and the like, along with tips and advice along the way with your general health versus your mental health, as well as advocating for people on the spectrum like me. So if you're into any of these type videos and you would like to join me on my journey right now, feel free to subscribe on the bottom right hand corner, and while doing so, I do this on the daily, usually Monday to Friday, sometimes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but this is always, you know, up and running by just based on where my schedule will lie, regardless where I may be. So if you have been following me right now, as of late, I'm doing the Autism and employment series that I thought to address, even though there's going to be a huge range of topics in that part of it, and this one especially is about the workplace bullying that will be broken down, as mentioned earlier, into maybe 2-3 parts, even though I did the introductory part of it, and then the last part I was covering just the basics of bullying, why bullies tend to bully, and just briefly my uptake of the understanding of it all. So this one's obviously going to be about for the second part, obviously for the autism, workplace and bullying, is why me, office gossip, and the autistic individual. So this is part 2. So let's begin this. I just want to thank you all, basically, before I begin this, also for many of the supporters, as well as just any of you following me right now through either my channel versus outside the channel, and just to give me a kick up the bum sometimes, because I feel right now in saying this that we need to just be saying this, you know, regardless of being patient with me when I'm away. Sometimes many people may be wondering where Aspie is, if they like to hear her content a bit more and whatever else it may be, and that sometimes, you know, I'm trying my very darn hardest to let you guys know what's going on. But as I said before earlier in the piece, that there will be some things coming to light, hopefully in session, that you might see maybe next month or the month after. But as said, I'll share this briefly a bit more either via through here or on my Facebook channel. If you haven't been following me on my AspieAnswers on that channel, feel free to do so, because there's some stuff up there that I usually post that's health related, and also trying to in saying that health related, that usually some of it will be in sponsorship of helping others, just to hopefully share their videos around that may be of interest to me and maybe of interest to you, versus blogs and everything else. But in saying this, let's begin this. As we know, the last video that I was speaking on of the first part of the series, after the introductory one, obviously as said, of the autism and workplace bullying, was to start off is what is bullying, you know, workplace bullying, the basics, versus why bullies do what they do, and as I said, the effects of bullying on the employees. Now this part of the video will cover about how bully selects their targets, why they target the autistic individual, and the role of gossip that can play in both bullying campaigns in everyday work life of an autistic employer or employee, shall we say. So you may be questioning to yourself, why did they choose me in the first place? This we will all tend to ask sometime in our everyday lifetime. You know, it's easy to ask ourselves this, why me? You know, and that we tend to just feel down and out based on what goes down and whatever else, and that in saying this, that our self-esteem gets kicked to the curb. Some of us autistics are usually hyperactive, full of energy, full of life, wanting to, you know, give our all to everything we give, be it if we are so self-absorbed on the, you know, obsessions and interests at heart. But then again, when I want to prove to you guys what we got. If you're the target for getting bullied, however, and anyway, in the other part of the series, in the basic of bullying, I said that, quote, it can be hard to comprehend why someone might choose you to be, you know, the one to be mistreated. I'll say more on this as a friendly advice from a friendly Aspie. It's not and never your fault, though. Never forever blame yourself for this. Obviously, we got to question to maybe why they're doing this in the first place, even though sometimes many people that are acting as bullies may have things going on in their life and they just don't want to take full responsibility of what's going on for themselves, and thinking that they're in control of everything, but everything's slipping out of between their fingers. Bullies often select the best and brightest as the targets. What do I mean by this, or what does it mean? According to the Workplace Bullying Institute, targets tend to have the following traits. Number 1, Targets are more skilled and perform better on the job than the bullies. This part to what I'm saying and meaning best and brightest basically is these individuals are competent, possess a good deal of knowledge and wisdom about the job, strives to excel at work and cares about the quality of the output of their work, of what they do, regardless, you know. In addition to all this, they may be served as experts. Sometimes are there for individuals for information, guidance and advice, support and much more. Number 2 in this is the targets displays honesty, integrity and a sense of ethics. What I'm meaning here is bullies really despises targets with these personal qualities and attributes and whatnot, because they themselves lack in these, or A, the target's integrity may call attention to these bullies that are lack of it, and B, the target may be a whistleblower who has exposed unethical or dishonest practices in the workplace. Number 3, targets are independent thinkers. They follow their own internal set of values, morals and ethics that will then often be put into them in a collision course with less ethics within the ethical of the bullies. And saying this of the independence of target can lead to other traits such as referral to join any established class. So therefore they may, what I mean here, they may not, of the ones that are targets here, they don't want to be in certain cliques that tend to gossip or tend to, you know, engage or encourage the bully to do what they're doing right now. Targets, number 4, is are non-confrontational and not aggressive. Well, sometimes, as we know, targets will seek more peaceful means to a disagreement or confrontation. They target will not play tit for tat, however, meaning that they will not return the bully's aggression. So therefore, as I'm meaning here for targets, is if you are new to the channel, I'm trying to replace that word the word victim to target, so that hopefully that it'll be a softer, meaningful word and saying that it makes you guys who are maybe autistic and watching my videos more comfortable, and hopefully in saying this that I am doing okay on it. So please forgive me if it's not the right form of, not, you know, word that you want to be called or whatever. It's just based on my personal knowledge, experience and whatnot of what I've been through in the past and present, on what I've seen and experienced based on, you know, some of my friends that's going through it all. So smash the like anyway, just to get me in the know-how. Now the next question you may be asking, where does autism enter into this picture? This is a very good question that you're asking me. The answer is that many autistic employees tend to have the above traits and qualities as mentioned, and many more. Yet there are a few more additional traits, qualities to think about that may attract the bully more, and they are as follows. Number 1, naivety and or lack of guile, meaning many of us tend to have an innocent way or view of interpersonal relationships, and thus may be overly looked as too overly trusting. On top of all that, you also have a tendency to interpret whatever is said literally, to then be even misread by the body language and body cues that you give off to us, the tone of voice and those social cues. In the bully's mindset, however, yes, will they easy target, as this may mean that he or she maybe or can get away with this unacceptable behaviours of what they share out. Perfectionism is number 2. Autism has a natural tendency to perfectionism, which can then sometimes occupy conscientiousness and a strong work ethic. While this can sometimes be destructive, this can be a positive trait. This is often why an autistic employee produces higher quality form of work of what they do. Number 3 is non-conformity or perceived oddness. Other spectrum traits such as the difficulty with social interaction, the communication, the sensory issues that may combine of the above that I have mentioned so much before to create this perception of eccentricity, non-conformity or plain oddness in the mind of the bully. In some way, many autistics tend to be conformed and unique choice of their dress and appearance unique dress and appearance, I should say, and personal appearance. What I mean here, some of the autistics will stick out like a sore thumb though, which prompts the bully to target us even more so, based on our, way of life. Workplace gossip. This in itself is a minefield in its own, in itself for us, many of us autistics. Often we become the subject of the workplace gossip and may then not find out until the gossip has already been spread like wildfire. No matter what it is about, this can be troubling for some of us, or a minor annoyance, in another case, downright detrimental to our mental health, emotions, and well-being, as well as our careers that's left on the line. The question is, why do employers gossip? There are so many reasons to this, but I will discuss 3 common ones that I can think of. Number 1, to promote social bonding. 2, to fill in the missing information. 3, to hate and or slandering others. Number 1, social bonding. This has been suggested by a psychologist by the name of Robin Dunbar by his book Grooming, Gossip and Evolution of Language. In other words, gossip serves as a function of bonding as social group together, similar to grooming. Hurts. However, the latter 2 reasons, fill in the missing information, as well as slandering someone, pertains more to autistic employers. Why is this? Again, this is a good question. There are 2 reasonings for this from what I've learned. 1, speculation. Some people will assume, due to our traits such as in the inability or lack of desire to socialize with others around us or to communicate, and with that being said, of us that will then make us stand out in the crowd, as well as will tend to fill in the missing info, especially when our condition isn't being disclosed. I have shared about disclosing information about us being autistic or not in one of my videos, which I'll link in the eye bar above me as well as in the description below. If you want to know more information, check that out. The gossiping that employers may feel uncomfortable at lack of understanding or information about us. Our mannerisms, our qualities, our quirkiness that they may be trying to, figure out what is behind all of this, and filling out their own info and their own mindset of this assumption and whatnot about us, regardless what it may be. With this speculation and assumptions, this will then lead to that misinformation, misunderstandings, and again, maybe some rumors that will lead in the path. Slandering. Last one is gossip can have malicious intent, which is to slander or hurt someone. Malicious gossip, slandering, can discredit a person, causing that person to be viewed as a negative light and single that person out. Again, negative effects can affect the person as a whole if she loves their job as a whole as well. So now this, as I said, I have unwrapped more of the mechanisms of the workplace bullying and the role of gossip they can play. I hope that you as the viewers now have a basic understanding about the problems of this and how it affects us autistic employees when we're working with you. So this basically ends what I'm sharing with you all. Smash the like, comment below. Feel free to share these videos around to family and friends. Don't forget to follow me on my social media networks. Don't forget to also, as I said earlier in the piece, if you feel that these topics are all about you or want to learn more about it and stuff, there'll be more along the way of some other bits that I'm about to share. Feel free to subscribe on the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Along with that, turn on the notification bell so you can keep up to date. So all further ado, guys, thanks for support, thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao for now.